This is how illegal streaming took over live sports.
Live streaming sports in 2024 is a broken system.
Yes, it
Welcome,
is.
to the very first Fox Sports Live ever.
Game time to Bill Cream along.
Welcome to CBS Sports HQ, NBC's coverage of the Premier League.
Live sports are headed to Max.
There's
Remember
so
when it was simple
many.
to watch sports? You used to be able to turn on your TV and flick to whatever sports game you wanted to watch.
Yep.
Now, if you want to watch every game, it requires a color-coded spreadsheet, a PhD in sports streaming, and a lot of cash to do so. Even LeBron James watches the NBA on Streamies.
When you are in an out-of-market area or you don't want to pay for the NFL Pass, the NBA League Pass, Stream East and some other places may be the place that I have watched a few games.
A live sports streaming piracy site. LeBron is famous for being cheap for sure, but he can afford NBA League Pass. Maybe he just didn't want to deal with the hassle of things like Blackouts and all the different streaming services that are out there.
And when you use one of these like backdoor illegal streaming sites, you get every single game, no matter where it is, no matter what time. You don't have to scroll through 15 different TV networks. It's just all right there.
Now. So how did this happen? How did sports streaming become so fractured and complex?
Money.
Let's find out. Sports have existed for many reasons, for fitness, fun, military training, but at its core, sports have always been entertainment. And as long as sports competitions have existed, we have wanted to watch them. There's evidence of crowds watching early Olympic Games in Greece, sumo wrestling in ancient Japan, hurling in ancient Ireland, gladiator games in Roman Colosseums, and jousting matches in medieval Europe. But importantly, you had to be in person to watch all of those events. This all changed in the year 1911, when more than 1,000 people gathered in Kansas to watch a live broadcast of a football game. After a play happened at a field 150 miles away, it would be relayed via telegraph and then modeled in person on a mechanized replica field to show the fans in attendance. This was huge, the first time that you could follow a sports game and not be there in person.
Dang.
A year later, and sports hit the airwaves in 1912, when a college professor created an experimental radio broadcast, where hams could tune in to listen to the college's home football games. A decade later, a Pittsburgh radio station began broadcasting sports to a commercial audience, first with a boxing match, then with a college football game, and then with a Major League Baseball game, marking the advent of professional sports on broadcast. Naturally, television was the next frontier. A 1939 Columbia University baseball game was the first broadcast to the United States. Then college football games.
That's
and
crazy to
professional
see how
games followed
long
shortly
ago
after.
that was.
Sports and television went together like peanut butter and jelly. Sports
100%.
are inherently unpredictable and visual, and so putting them on TV meant that viewers always had something interesting to watch.
I can probably count on two hands how many physical games I've been to, but I could not count on 30 pairs of hands how many games I have sat at my TV, on my phone, on my computer, and watched. Being able to watch sports, I think, is better than being there in person.
The innovations of color TV and satellite broadcasting further transformed sports into a communal experience, shaping Americans' evenings and social calendars. And in the 1970s and 80s, it was
Especially in the fall, I know, and my wife knows, every Thursday, Sunday, Monday, don't ask me to go anywhere at night because we are watching the NFL.
easier than ever to enjoy live sports. All you had to do was look through your TV guide, see at what time and on what channel the game would be on, and tune into one of the major channels available to everyone, like ABC, CBS, or NBC. Then, in 1979, a new player entered the game that would change sports broadcasting forever. Its impact? Well, let's just say it's the reason that you're probably paying for 5 different subscriptions right now. The first dedicated sports channel, ESPN, launched initially focused on custom programming like sports.
Now look, back in the day, like middle school, high school, ESPN was amazing. You would go watch all these different shows. I'd be able to go on ESPN2 and watch sports that I had never thought about watching. You'd be watching pickleball, you'd be watching cornhole, curling, all this stuff. ESPN used to be the cream of the crop, and they fell off.
Sports Center. But it soon secured exclusive rights to the early rounds of March Madness, and then added boxing and the NFL draft. And in 1987, 8 NFL Sunday games, marking the first time that a channel outside the major networks was going to be airing professional sports games. And it was a hit. People loved it. But since ESPN was only available on cable, this was the beginning of the fragmentation. Additionally, around this time, regional sports networks emerged. For example, Yes Network provides New York City with coverage of the New York Yankees and the Brooklyn Nets. These RSNs slowly but surely pulled coverage away from the national providers. On one hand, providing more in-depth experiences for local fans. On the other, further increasing the fracturing. Then the streaming revolution came, led by Netflix, spurring further fragmentation. ESPN Plus, Amazon Video, Hulu TV, YouTube TV.
I feel like I have 15 different subscriptions now. And that's why I just don't even bother watching sports on my TV. I just know that there are websites you go to. I can pull up any game I want to see at any time.
And Peacock all have jumped into the world of sports streaming. And to top it off, the
legal websites, of course.
The leagues began offering their own packages, like NBA League Pass, MLB TV, NFL Plus, and NFL Sunday Ticket. And now, we're seemingly light years away from the old, simple past of watching sports. So, let's say you live in Boulder, Colorado, and you love two things: hockey and college football. You want to watch Colorado Avalanche games in the spring, CU Boulder football games in the fall, and some of the major sporting events in between. So, how can you do that? So first, for the Avalanche games, you're going to need access to the local RSN, Altitude Sports. And it's kind of hard to find a service that carries it. Unfortunately, many of the major networks have dropped it due to network disputes. So your best bet is signing up for DirecTV Stream or Fubo TV. That's one subscription.
Oh my gosh.
Next, CU Boulder games are on ESPN, Fox Sports, and occasionally CBS. For ESPN, let's say you pick YouTube TV as your provider. You're also probably going to need ESPN Plus since they have some exclusive games and you don't want to miss those. The big events like the Super Bowl or the NBA playoffs normally air on the major networks, but sometimes you can only find them on niche channels or streaming exclusives, meaning you might need yet another service like TNT, Paramount Plus, or Amazon Prime Video. In total,
see how
you might
exhausting
need at
that
least 4
is?
or 5 subscriptions to
Look at how many, just to watch two teams. You're going to need 4 or 5 subscriptions. They have become money hungry. All of these companies just want money, money, money. Take it back to ABC, CBS, NBC, and call it a day. This is why you push so many people to go illegally stream games, and all these companies are just missing out on more money. If they were to come together, go back to the way it used to be, they would all be able to make more money.
cover all your interests. And with each service costing anywhere from $10 to $80 a month, you might be looking at $200 a month and a big headache. There are 2 main reasons for this fractured and frustrating world: blackouts and exclusivity deals. So imagine paying for a service specifically to watch your favorite team, only to find out that you're not allowed to see their home games. That may sound crazy, but welcome to the world of blackouts. Blackouts were originally produced to protect local broadcasters and teams. The thought was that if a game was available on TV in the same market that it was being played in person, then it would deter fans from buying tickets to see the game live. So leagues implemented these blackout rules where games could not be aired in the same place that the game was being played in person. For a fan, navigating these blackouts can be a headache. Even with multiple subscriptions, you might be still unable to watch the game if it's in your area. Moreover, it's simply confusing what is and isn't blacked out. It's different per region, per location, per team. In Iowa, for example, residents are blacked out from watching 6 different MLB teams, despite being hours away from any of their stadiums. So if you want to watch your local team play without buying an expensive in-person ticket, you might be out of luck. The second main culprit is exclusivity deals. In the NFL, for instance, Thursday night games are currently broadcast exclusively by Amazon Prime Video. Sunday games are typically split between CBS and Fox, with CBS taking the AFC games and Fox taking the NFC. Super Bowl rotates on a 3-year schedule between NBC, CBS, and Fox Sports. And while these deals make sense for the business to lock in revenue, for the viewers, they've created an expensive storm of confusion and frustration. And so, it's not a huge surprise that many take to the high seas to watch their favorite sports teams. People are increasingly turning to certain sites that are, simply put, convenient locations where you can watch every live sports broadcast you could want to. And these sites are run by savvy teams of people who are
It's weird. It's like if all these companies would realize what people are doing and just come together and make their own central location to watch sports. I feel like people would pay money to be able to say, hey, I know I have this one place I'm going to go every day. I want to watch sports no matter what the sport, and I can watch it right here. I feel like people would pay a ton of money for that. Wish somebody would do that.
Dedicated to keeping them online. And the world of sports piracy is much more widespread than you may even realize. A recent survey found that while 89% of respondents paid for a subscription to watch sports, over half of those were still using pirate services on a monthly basis. 31% of respondents cited frustrations with local broadcasting limitation as the reason for why they turned to piracy. In the 2024 Super Bowl, an estimated 17 million viewers tuned in to illegal streams to watch it, with over 1,300 different streams counted while it was live. And only 16% of respondents reported never using pirate services to watch live sports. Those are some stark numbers that cast a light on just how frustrating the world of live sports streaming is today. But looking forward, it's not all bad. Venue Sports offered a glimmer of hope. Designed as a platform to bring all the top leagues together in one place where you can watch it all live, the service's launch was sidelined in August of this year following an antitrust lawsuit. Alongside this, the way that fans actually consume sports content is ever evolving. Social media platforms have become go-to destinations for quick sources of highlights and recaps. Teams and even the leagues themselves have been consistently building out their social media pages and are consistently posting updates and highlights. It's now possible, for better or for worse, to effectively follow a team without ever watching a live game. Additionally, user-generated content has been gaining prominence and relevance. For instance, Jomez Pro single-handedly redefined disc golf coverage with their high-quality video productions following disc golf tournaments. And so many creators all around the internet consistently provide unique coverage, filling the gaps left by traditional broadcasting. So the world of sports streaming is at a crossroads, and decisions made in the coming years will shape how we as fans experience sports for decades. One thing's for certain, the passion of sports fans and our dedication to follow our teams will continue to drive innovation, whether through official channels or creative.
I promise you, the illegal sports streaming is at the highest it's ever been, and it will only get higher because they keep signing all these new deals literally every year, and nobody wants to go get another streaming service. Let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments.